So welcome back. Let's continue by looking at investment allowance. That's another type of allowance. Investment allowance. Okay, let's talk about investment allowance. Investment allowance. Another type of capital allowance. Let's look at the peculiarity of investment allowance. Investment allowance is granted once in the first year an asset is put to use on a particular type of asset. Are we there? Granted once and in the first year, in the life of the asset, and take note that when we talk about asset here, is on a particular type of asset, a special type of asset. Investment allowance, okay, is granted at 10% of costs. For plant and equipment. Plant and equipment only. I will need to underline this, that you should remember that it is for plant and equipment only. Okay, that's the only type of asset that can claim investment allowance. Are you there? All right, we'll move on. What other things do we need to know? It is not granted on a second-hand asset that is acquired within 5 years of its original acquisition. Not granted on second-hand assets acquired within 5 years of its original acquisition, original acquisition. All right, so we are on. Again, we need to know one thing about investment allowance. And what is that? Where investment allowance cannot be absorbed in any particular year, the balance cannot be carried forward to subsequent years. Unabsorbed investment allowance. We will see this is in question. Unabsorbed investment allowance cannot be carried forward. Cannot be carried forward. Are we there? So these are the peculiarities of investment allowance. One, granted once in the life of the asset, the first year. It is granted at the rate of 10%. At 10% on cost for plant and equipment only, not granted on second-hand asset, but within 5 years of its original acquisition. Unabsorbed investment allowance cannot be carried forward. So that's that for investment allowance. Let's look at rural investment allowance. Rural investment allowance. This is another type of allowance. So rural investment allowance. This is allowance that is granted to businesses that are not located within 20 kilometers from normal facility. Emphasis on 20 kilometers. 20 kilometers from normal facility. Normal facility. What this simply means is businesses, companies, factories that are established far away from the city. It is believed that when you are within 20 kilometers from the city, you'll be enjoying normal facility. And what do we mean by normal facility here? Normal facility are 1, electricity, pipe-borne water, good roads, tarred road, and telephone. That makes up the normal facility. So, if you are situated, the company is situated, the factory is situated, the business is situated from 21 kilometers away from normal facility, it will be entitled to rural investment allowance. Okay? How? Where there is no normal facility at all, no facility, no normal facility, that is to say all those things I've mentioned are not there, facilities, okay, at 100% of costs. What's 100% of cost? The cost. No pipe-borne water, there's no electricity in that village or that community, there is no tarred road, there's no telephone, and you provided this so that your business could thrive or survive. 100% of the cost of providing it. No, where there is no electricity, 50% of the cost of providing it. Okay, where there is no pipe-borne water, 30% of the cost of providing it. Where there is no tarred road is 15% of the cost of providing it. And where there's no telephone, but this one was will have overtaken this because everybody now has at least a handset, a GSM. No telephone is equals to 5%. So that is that. And of course, rural investment allowance, this is rarely tested. But if at all it is, where rural investment allowance cannot be absorbed in any year of assessment, it cannot be carried forward, just like investment allowance. So I think on this note, we have come to the end of types of capital allowances. Thank you. I'll see you in class next time. Thank you.